Augies Worldwide. I'm Dave Kassler, amateur radio call sign KE0OG, here with another episode of Ask Dave. Today's question comes to us from Eric Ebner, AG5YL. And he has an icom 7300, just like I do here. And he listened to the episode we did about shortwave radio and wonders what kind of antenna he can use on his 718 to do shortwave listening. If we look at the 718 here, we see that it is although it only transmits on the ham bands, it will receive off of the ham bands on any frequency, and you just tune it right off the ham band to whatever frequency you're looking for, and you can tune into those if you want. His question is whether he can use his ham radio antenna to tune in shortwave. The short answer to that is yes, but. Yes, because it will work, but because the impedances are way off and you'll lose signal on the impedance mismatch. What I would recommend for a shortwave, there's two ways you can go. One is that you can just throw out a long wire and connect that to your antenna, and however you want to do that. Connect that to the antenna jack on that and listen to shortwave. The long wire, the impedances and stuff don't matter so much. The problem is that most ham radio antennas are tuned, so they will actively reject signals that are outside the ham bands. So if you throw an untuned wire out there, it doesn't need to be terribly long, 20, 30, 40 feet. You can pick up an awful lot of signals that way. The other way that you can go, if you really want to have fun with it, is to get a specially built receive loop antenna, like this one right here. This is from Chameleon. They just released an updated preamp for their antenna, which I'm going to be reviewing in the next few days. It's already up on the roof. But they provide a low frequency, medium frequency, high frequency receive loop antenna called the CHA-RXL. And this is the operating manual for it. It's a loop, just a loop. And it's only about this big. And I've got mine on the roof. You can actually set them on a table and so on. And they're sensitive all across the band and even have the 50 ohm output, so you can run them right into your radio and listen to those. You have to be very careful not to transmit into these loops, because if you do, you will blow the preamp to heaven. Wherever antenna heaven is, that's where the preamp will go. So what a lot of people do is they use a dedicated receiver with that dedicated receive loop. This one right here is one of the SDR plays, and this happens to be our giveaway for the month of August 2022. And this is just literally a black box, okay? You've got a place here where you can plug in the USB cord. This is the same USB that's used for an HP printer. And you can choose between antennas and so on. Also, a lot of those receive-only antennas require a bias voltage to actually power the preamp, and this can provide that if it's 5 volts, or if it's 12 volts, like for the MFJ antenna or the Chameleon. You can get this little bias T, which you plug a power supply into, and then this will take you out to the antenna where you want to be. So you've got two choices. Now these receive loop antennas are not inexpensive. They're several $100s, but they do a very good job of receiving shortwave and medium wave and long wave signals. And there are lots of options you can get. For example, if you have local broadcast band transmitter, you can put a filter in it that you can get from these manufacturers that will keep the signal down. There is also W6LVP. Let me see. W6LVP makes an amplified receive-only mag loop, and it has a little TR switch in it so that if you transmit, the signal will go to your transmit antenna, and then when you receive, you'll get the signal from here. These are a little bit directional. This way, through the loop like that, you've got a little bit of a null. So different things that you can try. Get an idea of the price. I have one of these. I have the MFJ and I have the Chameleon. And so we're going to be doing a shoot off here in just a little bit. So there you have it. Just an ordinary piece of wire thrown out the window and attached to a tree or something like that will be a good shortwave receiving antenna. You can use an antenna like a dipole or something like that. Will work well. Multi-band antennas tend to be tuned, and so they will end up rejecting a lot of what they receive outside the ham bands. Or you can go with these special receive-only antennas, all of which have preamps in them, all of which do a fantastic job of listening across the entire band. So there you have it. I'd like to thank Mark Caravan for his support of this channel. The support allows me to hire an assistant, allows me to purchase items for review. I also get items for free from manufacturers for review. And of course, most of the time I'm answering your questions. So if you would like to join that, you can go to patreon.com/KE0OG and it will tell you just what you need to do. So until we next meet, 73.